This is Momxiety with Sav Social. I'm your host, Samantha. Let's get right into it before the baby wakes up. Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Momxiety. Sorry about last week. It was a little hectic. I feel like literally everybody and their mother is getting sick. This weather sucks. One day it's freezing, the next day it's beautiful out, and I feel like it's like making everybody get sick. Can't wait for the spring, summer, literally anything that shows a little warmth. But yeah, I just want to paint a little picture for you right now. My son is sleeping with my husband, and I find it so funny that every time I try to put him to bed, which he usually requires me to, he takes like at least an hour to knock out. With my husband, falls asleep in 2 seconds. Whatever. Am I bitter? Maybe a little bit. Does this happen to any other moms? And also too, this was not even planned to be talked about today, but this is just kind of going with the flow with this episode. I feel like I always plan things out, but honestly, I'm like tired. I'm not in the mood to write everything down right now. Like, I'm just chillaxing. I'm gonna watch a rom-com after this. And yeah. So I always feel like my son is extremely I don't know, I feel like he throws a lot more tantrums when it's just him and I, which is fine. I know he's still learning to express himself, and honestly, I don't get it frustrated. I feel bad. Like, sometimes I don't know how to calm him down, but when he's with other people, he is like a whole nother kid. Like, I almost feel like I'm lying. I'm like, am I making this up? Did he really just throw like 3 tantrums? Or like, even with his teething, like, he cries sometimes and it's so uncontrollable and I feel so bad, and obviously like I have learned a little bit now how to manage it, like as far as his teething. But if I spend the day with like my parents or like on the weekend, he doesn't even make a peep. Like, is this a thing? I feel like, I guess kids just know that like, it's something to do with the motherhood. I really do. Like, something to do that they know like they're with their mom and feel safe and they can express themselves. Like, is that a thing? Can you guys tell me, please? Because sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm making this up, but yeah. So anyway, that's just a random thought. Also too, and I know all of the girls can relate to this, my toxic trait is that I just ate baked ziti for dinner, okay? And then I had crumb cake for dessert. I'm so nauseous right now that instead of saying, oh, maybe it's from eating like garbage, I think I'm pregnant. I'm not, guys, I'm not. But this is what I think. Okay, does anybody else do this? Like, it'll just be one sign of something and I'm like, I'm pregnant. Like, okay, that's not normal. I feel like, though, I'm not the only girl that does this, and it's actually hilarious because, like, what is life? What am I doing here? But whatever, let's get into today's episode. We're entering a new era. So my son is about to be a year and a half in a few days, and with the new season comes new challenges and just a lot of things that I didn't know if I'm ready for. And the first thing is potty training. So I know my son is only a year and a half, and you might be thinking, oh, he's so young. A lot of people don't start really, I guess, till like 2.5, maybe 2.5. And also depends on daycares. I know a lot of daycares, they require that your child is potty trained or they will potty train them there. So he's been showing me a lot of signs that make me think that he's ready. So I actually picked up a book called Potty Training in 3 Days. It's by Brandy Brooks, and she basically gives a step-by-step plan of how to do a clean break of potty training. I'm not really a big reader. There's a lot of pictures though. I'm kidding, but this is a really easy read, like just to kind of like pinpoint exactly signs that your kid is ready to start potty training. One of the points that she made was that your child knows when it's time to be changed. So I noticed a lot of times he'll actually either go upstairs, which is where we usually do our changing, or he'll say like the word potty or something like that. And that's one thing too, like I learned to always kind of keep them involved. Whether you like it or not, they're going to go into the bathroom when you're trying to go. And yeah, so he'll obviously start getting the hint that that's what you do when going to the bathroom. So that point, I would say that so step one, I would say check, yes, he's ready. Point two is that they can hold their bladder. Obviously, at his age, and he still isn't understanding the concept fully, I don't think that he's able to hold his bladder and obviously understand that. Point three is that she says that they're not ready if they're having trouble going to the bathroom. As I'm reading this, I'm actually laughing and dying inside because, just to put it into perspective, tomorrow is my birthday. And if you asked me 5 years ago that I would be sitting on my bed at 7:30 ready to go, like I could sleep any second right now, and I'm just recording a podcast about being a mom and talking about going to the bathroom and potty training, I would have been like, you're crazy. But here we are, right? That's insane. Also too, like, do you ever like not forget your age, but I don't know. Let me just do a quick story time. So the other day, because obviously my birthday's coming up, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get a pedicure. So I go to get a pedicure, and across from me were these two girls. They were talking, and I was not being nosy. There was nobody else in there, and they were talking loud. Like, obviously I can hear them. No shade. I'm like just saying they were talking loud. And they were like gossiping, and they were talking about, oh my God, girl, I have to wear this. I'm not wearing that mini skirt tonight. It is so cold. And it just took me back to another dimension. I'm like, that, and then also too, the girl said that she was 20. And I'm like, that feels like a lifetime ago that I was going out with no jacket on. You're wearing like this little outfit, right? It's freezing cold. You somehow are in this scary neighborhood going to a party. Like, this is literally what we used to do. And I'm just thinking like how time has changed so much. And honestly, I'm totally grateful for it. And I'm like scared to take my son out of the house. Like, whatever, if I'm going food shopping, I'm always worried about my surroundings. Like, 5 years ago on my birthday or whatever, 10, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, or 7 years ago, I was 20. But I was like, no care in the world. Like, you understand what I'm trying to say. My point is that time has changed so much, and I can't believe that I'm sitting here talking about potty training the night before my birthday. Okay, moving on. So, where was I? Oh, so the fourth point was that she talks about, if your kid can follow directions. Obviously, he still does not listen to me. We try, but sometimes he doesn't. But he's gotten a lot better. Like, obviously, as he's gotten older, he definitely understands a little bit more of when I talk about potty. Like, he's relating the two things. So we definitely have made progress. And then the fifth point she talks about is how, like, to see if your child actually is showing direct interest. So if your child fits those 5 things, based on this woman, she said you're ready to start potty training. So he fits a few of them, but we're still going to try because I just feel like, obviously I'm not pregnant at the moment, but God willing, in the next, whatever, near future this happens, I would like my first child to be potty trained prior to all of that, just because 2 in diapers, like, no, I'm not doing that. But yeah, so one thing too, I don't know if I mentioned, but definitely with potty training, make it more of an experience for them. So like, I purchased a few books, for example. He loves Elmo, so I got him Elmo potty training, and it comes with like a poster. And another thing too is do a reward system. It's so beneficial, and I really feel like that makes it more of a successful process. He has this poster that we put stickers on, and if he goes to the potty, and honestly, even just giving them a reward when they're not doing it. I know some people are going to be like, not everybody's a winner, but you know what the point I'm trying to make is that you want this to be a fun thing and that they slowly learn how to do it. So we're working on that right now. And another thing too, I feel like potty training is not just for the child. It is I think it's 50% for the child, 50% for the parent, because if you're not consistent with it, it's not going to progress. And that's one thing that I'm definitely working on. I definitely am not as consistent with it. And, obviously even just going out for the day or, whatever the case may be, just preparing yourself, whether you're going to travel or not travel is definitely going to be the best way to success with this. And also too, one point I think I skipped, when you're trying to potty train, just to have them have easy access to going to the bathroom, make sure that they're wearing like pants and their, pamper or whatever, but do not use the clip-on onesies, because then obviously it's going to be more challenging for you to take it off quickly. And yeah. And also too, guys, I'm like literally just sitting in bed and I don't know why I'm out of breath. Is that another sign? Like, am I pregnant again? This is the shit that I think of. Okay, sorry for cursing, but this is literally what I think of. Okay, moving forward. So, too, another point she talked about, which at first I thought about doing this, and then when she made the point, I'm like, you know what? That's actually a great point, and that does not make sense to do that. A lot of times people think they should be putting a little potty in every room just because to them it's like, oh, easy access. They go, that's always on their mind. But I noticed when I actually had his little potty in his play area, he thought it was a toy, which it obviously, it looks like a toy because it has like a little flusher and stuff. But keep the potties in the bathroom. You don't want them to learn that they should be able to go to the bathroom in any room, because then that defeats the whole purpose. And that point that she made really stuck with me. So moving forward, definitely doing that. And we are going to segue into the next topic that I was going to talk about, which is homeschooling. I know I mentioned to you guys in the past that I'm kind of considering it, but now I really truly believe that it could be a good fit for us, even if it's just for the first few years of schooling. I definitely think that we're going to move forward with it. I've done a lot of research too, to kind of, obviously homeschooling, it's kind of hard to think like, where do I begin, right? The one thing I learned is to just plan out your goal. What's your goal for your child? Like, what exactly does that look like and that life look like? For me and for my family, we definitely want obviously to build a wide range of skills. And the one thing that's really important to us is that we always put Jesus first. And obviously as adults, we do that, and we want to, as parents, we do that, and we want to teach our children that that's the most important thing. And obviously in public schools and stuff like that, I feel like, not that it's looked down upon, but that would never come out of, even in college. I feel like I took like a Christian class, and I just remember like it was almost a joke to the people that did not believe. And I'm like, why? First off, you're in a Christian college. That's the first mistake you made if you have an issue with that. But I remember like there was a few girls that really were not interested, and they were almost mocking it. And I'm like, I don't, honestly, truly do not care what you believe in. Like, that's your belief. But you're in a Christian college and you're in a class about Christianity. So maybe just not the best choice for that person. But anyway, so that's like one thing that we really want to stress in our child's life. And yeah, so one of the curriculums that I found actually integrates that throughout their program, and it's called The Good and the Beautiful, just in case you guys wanted to check it out. One of my friends just recommended it, but I saw it somewhere else too. So that's really interesting, and I'm excited about that. And basically, their motto is, that they emphasize family, God, high character, nature, and wholesome literature. And basically, on their site, they have a ton of sources. They have printable worksheets, and based on their age, you could buy books, and there's just a lot of knowledge on there. And, I really am drawn to this program and curriculum, so I'm definitely going to look more into it once it comes time that he should be learning those skills. And yeah, so I'm excited about it. And another thing too, like about homeschooling, obviously I'm focusing on the positive things, but a lot of people have stereotypes in their mind about homeschooling, and I find it really interesting. One of the ones that popped into mind was that your child isn't going to be social. So first off, building a community of moms that are in the same boat and have the same views is so important in your success in homeschooling. And, you guys can share resources. I know I spoke about this in the past. But with the whole point about your child not being social, and I mean this in a nice way, I know so many people in public school that are so anti-social, and I, no judgment at all. I do not care, but I just think that's funny that that's associated with that. And then another thing too is people were like, oh, well, your kid's not going to fit in. I don't know what that means, but okay, they shouldn't fit in. They should be their own person, but whatever. There are so many activities and sports, and literally there's so many things that are even free. You don't have to pay for these things. And when you have that community, you could take, educational field trips, go to the museum. There's so many options for homeschooling nowadays. I feel like it's not as out of the norm as it used to be, and it's really exciting to see that, that grow. But yeah, so that's the second thing that's kind of on my mind, and just to update you guys. So yeah, so I really appreciate you guys always tuning in, and I didn't film last week, and I feel like this week I'm struggling to come up with topics that you guys would be interested in. It's not that I don't have anything to say, it just I feel like, I need a little more. If you guys are out there and have anything that you could bring to the table, I truly would love to have you on one of my next episodes. I feel like there's so many people that I want to reach with this, and I really truly hope that one of these episodes helps at least one of you. Please always tune in. I'm on Spotify and YouTube if you want to watch the full video. And yeah, I post every Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys. See ya.